This audio reading is taken from the book The Bible and the Newspaper by Charles Spurgeon. Our selected reading is entitled Tempting Temptation. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Psalm 1:1. Lead us not into temptation. Matthew 6:13. The Rock of May 10th speaks of fox hunting parsons and remarks. To come down to modern times, the late Reverend Joseph Berington, Roman Catholic chaplain at Buckland, Berks, and a writer on history, was fond of a run with the hounds. When visiting his patron's family, the Throckmortons of Western Underwood, Backs, he was in the neighbourhood of 2 packs and did not neglect the opportunity. He did not actually go to cover, but rode out in the direction the hounds might take, and thus fell in with the hunt, and got half a day's sport without appearing to seek it. This was playing the politician to gratify his inclination. This anecdote was learned at a table where he has often dined, from personal friends of his own. Why could not the man have hunted openly or not at all? If he felt ashamed of it, why did he do it? Thoroughbred fox hunters must have despised him. The policy of the Reverend Joseph is followed by a great many in daily life. They complain of being tempted, and yet they carefully put themselves in the way of temptation. They profess to have been grievously misled by evil company, and yet they continue to stand in the way of sinners, and to delight themselves with their evil conversation. They express the greatest grief if they fall into drunkenness and say that they have been overtaken, but notwithstanding this, they carefully ride along the road which drunkenness is known to pursue, and under the name of moderation drink themselves fully up to the boundary line. They do not actually go to cover, but they ride out in the direction which the hounds always take. They profess to be averse to frivolous amusements, to feasting, rioting, and the like, but they are pretty careful to call upon their friends when such things are going on, and so get half a day's sport without appearing to seek it. They are averse to infidelity, and yet peruse sceptical reviews. They dislike licentiousness, and yet spend hours over doubtful novels. They tempt the devil to tempt them, and go into dark lanes in order to be beset by their favourite sins. Thus, to excuse sin, as many do, is mere nonsense, or worse, such fooling may amuse conscience and prevent its plainly speaking the truth, but it is altogether unworthy of an honest man. Excuses which hold no water are caught up under the notion that a bad excuse is better than none, the fact being that a bad excuse is worse than none, for it proves that the man has not the courage to defend what he has the audacity to do, nor the common honesty to take the responsibility of his own act and deed. Let us follow the advice of Solomon. Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. We pity a man who catches an infectious disease, but we should cease to do so if we heard that he purposely went down to the fever hospital or wilfully rode in the smallpox carriage. If you go to live with a sweep, you ought not to blame him if your linen lose its whiteness, or if you do so, everyone will see through your inconsistency. If it be true that when you go to Rome you must do as Rome does, then do not go to Rome at all, and no such necessity will arise. It is wonderful how circumstances appear to help a man when he wants to do wrong, and some there are who even dare to quote the fact as a reason why they ought not to be blamed. They happened to be on the spot, or they would never have thought of it. Thus they are profane enough to hint that Providence itself misled them. This is only a repetition of Adam's plea. The woman whom thou gavest me, she tempted me, and I did eat. Alas! The vile attempt to father sin upon the Lord himself is often made, but it is none the less horrible. Let us abandon such blasphemous endeavours to shift the responsibility of our actions and give our consciences a fair chance of being heard. This concludes our reading. Thank you for listening.